Ready? Okay, so good afternoon and welcome to our succulent wreath workshop. This is a perfect wreath to go on through the whole fall, so enjoy it. My name is Virginia, and I'm one of the workshop volunteers, or not the workshop, the Arboretum volunteers here. I also do some children's programs. So anyway, this is going to be about an hour. Sue's presentation, Sue Carter is doing this. Sue is our mastermind of all the education programs, and she handles the Rose Garden. So she'll be doing a demo, and then you'll have time to work on your pumpkins here, or your wreaths here. There's going to be a question and answer part more at the end, but feel free if there's something critical that, raise your hand if you need to know. But she'll answer any questions at the end. And for those of you online, please use your chat box. Okay, and then as was mentioned, there's an evaluation form, and this is being recorded, so clearly the recording and the evaluation form will be sent out to everybody in a few days. So I'm here a little bit to tell you about what's happening at the Arboretum. So some of you may not be familiar with everything we do. So we have a nursery that's open on Saturdays and Sundays from 11 to 2. We sell an assortment of plants. We have house plants, we have orchids, we have lots of succulents, and we have regular plants. We have 2 demonstration gardens that you can see, which show you the plants that some of the plants we have and how they can grow so big if you pay attention to them. And we also, the volunteers also do the rose garden, the butterfly hummingbird garden, and then the demo gardens. So our prices are great, and this way you can try whatever plant you want. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but if it does, it's a new surprise. So all our garden plants and the propagation is all done by volunteers. So our plants come from either donations and then things that we propagate. Okay, what else? A couple of things going on. So for those of you who miss having the pumpkin succulent topped pumpkins, we're selling these for $12.50 at the Arboretum, and there's bigger ones, which are the tiger striped ones as well. Those are $17.50. During the month of October, we have this great exhibit that you can see somewhat here. The Arboretum Society decided to pull together in honor of the 100 years of history of Central Park, an exhibit, a photo exhibit. So we have about 20 posters this size, 24, that are pictures and text about the history of Central Park. So we did this, the city will be doing a big program on October 22nd. But this goes on through the month of October, Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 4, and then we're also doing Thursday from 4 to 6. Okay, so what else do I have to tell you? I'll tell you later in case. And we're gonna start our creative workshop. So get all your creative juices ready, and Sue's gonna start in. Sue, welcome.
Thank you, Virginia, and welcome everyone. Thank you for signing up and supporting the Arboretum Society. So you all have supplies, should have. Everybody have a wreath. We've picked out succulents. You've got some moss. This is sheet moss. It's easier. The sheet moss is easier to work with than the individual moss you get in the bags. Some of your pieces may be odd shaped, so you may have to trim them a bit to make them fit onto the wreath. We'll also have some, they call these greening pins. I call them floral pins. Got some glue. And you have a chopstick or pencil to help poke the succulents into the wreath. And this pipe cleaner, I use it to make a hook to hang the wreath when we're done. And wire. So most of you we've cut lengths of wire for you rather than giving you the big spool. But some of you here at the Arboretum do have a spool. The wire is either in your plastic bags with the greening pins or in the box with the greening pins. Okay. In addition, it's a good idea to have some clippers, spray bottle of water here, and that's it. A glue gun, for those of you who do it at home, might help to hold on your larger, heavier succulents. So, the first thing we want to do is just moisten the moss a bit. So, okay, spray bottle here. There are some spray bottles throughout the room here. What that does is help the succulents to start rooting, but it's also kind of keep the dust down and keep it from flying about. All right. So I'm just placing the moss, deciding where I want the moss. And I'm just going to set it down. And got my bottle of tacky glue here, and I'm going to generously, when I shake it down, there we go. Okay, that should work. And I saw how I had to shake that glue to get it down. I'm just going to keep mine upside down here so I don't have to do that next time. So now I'm going to place the sphagnum moss on the wreath. Now I have a spool of wire. What we're going to do is wire it on to make sure that it is secure. I'm just going to wrap it around. And I got my glove caught in the wire. I have to wear gloves because I'm really messy when I start working with glue. I'm just going to twist it several times around so I make sure it's not going to come loose. Then I'm just going to wrap wire tightly around the moss. Kind of gonna move some of the moss over here. It's kind of a bare spot. The moss, besides looking attractive, is when it's moistened, it's going to help your succulents root and stay alive. I'm just wrapping it around and pulling it tightly. Now, we've given you, we think, enough wire that should have plenty for this. Plus, you might want to save at least a foot to tie your ribbon on later. I'm just going to kind of go around to the back side and tie, just wrap it around one of the spools of wire, like pieces of wire, and pull it tightly. I'm going to do that 3 or 4 times and make sure that it's secure. I've made a little bent the tip of the wire. So makes it easier to get it around the wire to tie it in the loop. I don't have to fish for it as much. And one more time, and it should be good. I'm just going to tuck the end inside, or you could cut it off. All right. So now I've got to decide where I want to place my succulents. Some of you have some really big, heavy succulents. They're going to be a little bit more difficult to secure because they're heavier. It's helps to put them on the top here. If you put them down here, that's fine. You have the pins and you can wire them on. So I'm just going to say what I want to do here. This is going to be my center focal point. And then I have 3 of these pretty little, I like these little jade plants with the little red tips. I think the jade gets the red from being in the sun. Is that right, Virginia? Okay, I'm just doing my layout now. I'm just playing to see what I want. I had a little bit of red on that side. Got these little, I think, aeoniums here. One side. And then this is a curly jade, which I wasn't familiar with, but then I think we had a donation of these, didn't we? And so it's 3 little stems. I think I'm going to put it here. Maybe another one of these up here or over here. Oh, I like it better over there. Okay. And I got a couple extra ones. So I'm just going to lay everything down here where I had them. And I'm just going to start. So I'm going to make this will help. You might want to, if you need a longer stem to put these in, I'm going to take off a couple of bottom leaves here so I can stick this in farther to make it more secure. And I will use also a pin. And if I find out later I have to wire it, then I will. So lots of glue. And like I said before, you can use hot glue. Hot glue, surprisingly, does not hurt the succulents. That. And then I think I'm going to put a little bit of glue also on the pin. And now while you're making your wreath, remember the glue is not dry yet. So you want to be careful, and you may find out that it's not yet secure if it falls off. It may need wiring. Glue dries clear. Can you give me some paper towel, wet towel? I've got some glue. I'm sloppy. That's why I'm wearing gloves. I get glue all over the place. There we go. Much better.
So is it best just to confine the succulents to where you do the moss?
Yes. Because when you take care of this, you'll want to mist it once a week, wet it down, and it's a medium for your succulents to root into.
Want to repeat the question?
You want to put the succulents only where you have the moss, because it's acts as a rooting medium for the succulents. They'll last longer. They'll start to grow. And you know, if I made one of these last year, but I didn't take very good care of it. Like those down there. See. And it's still alive, but I didn't water it once a week. I have it outside hanging on a wall. Gets a little bit of morning sun, but that's all. And if you take better care of it, it will last longer. Oh, here. It's hard to get things into. I think I'm going to use a pin again. I have 3 of these little jade stems. And I like to cluster things. I think it gives more of an impact versus having them scattered about. And I'll put the last one right in the center there. Do I want it up? Do I want it down? I think I want it up. This one's going to need a pin. I'll use the other end. Reuse, recycle. Huh? It's hard. These are wreaths are pretty tight, so it's sometimes difficult to make a hole to stick the succulent in where you want it. So in that case, I'm just going to.
Put a long screwdriver.
Hey, I think that's good. If you don't mind getting glue all over it. Oops, I was going to put it this way. Okay. This glue is supposed to dry. It's supposed to dry clear. So I got a spot there. I might put some another succulent, or I have some eucalyptus pods I might use later. Huh?
Aeonian.
Okay.
No comments.
Pardon?
I said the comments are not going into the video.
Okay, let's see. else do we have here? I think I have fewer succulents than what you have there to work with. Some of the stems are long, but that's longer than I need, so I'm going to trim it down. Let's see. I think everybody else has more succulents than I'm using here for your wreath, but then this gets us finished. Or do I want it here? Do I want it up here? I think I kind of like it down there. Kind of picks up the red. It's a little bit heavier one with a bigger stem, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to secure.
When you insert the pins, do you try to go at a specific angle to like keep it secure?
I just try to get it in, and you kind of have to wiggle it around to.
Okay, the
get it.
question was,
Oh,
when you
sorry.
use
Thank you,
the,
Virginia.
when you use the pin, you put it in at a certain angle to secure it. And Sue's thing was just put it in and make sure it's, so whatever works best to secure it.
These wreaths have a lot of heavy stems, so it's hard sometimes to make a hole. And you will find later, if it's not holding, that you may want to wire it. It's sometimes even hard to get these pins in. Give them a good push and wiggle them about. Oops, see, that didn't hold. Let's try it again. I think that's secure now. This one's a little loose. Put another pin in here. So this is what we've got so far. Okay, let's work on this side. I think I'm gonna, it's a larger one. It's a little bit smaller, and a little bit smaller. So I'm just gonna work up. Where's what I do with my broken chopstick?
It's in your cup.
Oh, it's in my cup. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. I know. Okay. I got a nice hole that time. Oops. See, just testing to see if that's where I want it. I think that's good. So that's what we have so far. It's nice to add something that may hang down, go up, curl around. This is an interesting one with a curve. So I've left a little stem on it to poke it in. See what else I have here, two more pieces. We can make it hang down. It up here, can go up. Don't quite know where I want it. This one over here. I think I'm just going to quit now. You have a lot more succulents to put on than I did. So you have some eucalyptus pots here. I can adds a little bit more interest. I've added three eucalyptus pods. And these are actually left from last year. Used to have out behind my house, it's called a gomphocarpus balloon plant. And it has a pretty little, these are green. And then they dry and open up, and it's almost like dandelion, the seeds disperse. They usually reseed. This one hasn't. And I'm sorry, I don't have it anymore. But they kind of add some little bit of interest. Not pinned. This one doesn't have a stem. Not quite sure how it's going to hold up on the other side. Pin would probably work fine. Let's try it. All right. Done. So next thing, I'm going to take off my gloves. Got ribbon, and on the back of your instruction sheet, there's some more photos of different ideas on using succulents, but it's also on how to make a wreath. Bow. Thank you, Kevin. So one of our volunteers put these on paper clipped the ribbon together. Did such a good job. I can't get it off. So you have about 5 feet of ribbon. And so it's really easy to make a bow. So I haven't made one with this length, so I'm going to play with it. You could probably get 3 loops on either side with a small bow, or if you do a larger bow, 2 loops on either side. So this is wired ribbon. Wired ribbon is really easy to make a bow. So you can see this is the front, has the dark brown. The back side doesn't have that brown stripe on the edges. So we want all our loops to have the brown stripe. So what you're going to do is you're going to make your loop, pinch it, twist it. So that means your next loop is going to be all the dark brown edges. You just keep repeating that. You want to make sure you have enough to leave some for a tail. So, oops. So if I was going to take more time with this, I would probably redo it and start with a longer tail, because the tails are different lengths. In the interest of time, I'm not going to do that. So you need a foot or more of wire to securely tie your ribbon. So first you just wrap this tightly around the center. How these scissors work on. Virginia, can you get me some scissors? Oh, Kevin, boy, you're earning your keep today. I've got scissors. They were flat, so I just made little, cut them at an angle. So just wrap the wire around the wreath and then pull it tight. Fluff up the ribbon. This wired ribbon is fantastic. Got a bow. Now you can use this pipe cleaner to also tie it on. What I use with mine is I have mine hanging on a hook. My wreath that I made last year hanging on a hook outside. So I just used this And I think I probably doubled it. Around. Thank you, Kevin. Twist it together. Sure it's secure, so it doesn't. And you got a little loop to hang it. Okay. Questions? Questions online? No? Zoom people? All right.
Do you have a question?
Do you have any suggestions to secure things like acorns that don't really have a good, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, these acorns are pretty lightweight.
Yeah.
And one of these I pinned on. One had a stem and one of these had nothing. I just glued it on. So what you're going to want to do now is keep it flat till tomorrow to allow the glue to set. Once the glue sets, and if the acorn doesn't hold when you get home, you just re-glue it on, leave it flat. Then you can give it a good spray now. Once a week, at least, unless it's been really hot. You know, you might want to do it more often. I have mine hanging outside in a shady spot. And you can keep it inside for a while. The succulents will be happier outside, but you know, when you see them start looking a little sad, you might say, okay. But that's it. Okay. Okay, thank you, everyone.
I have a question.
Yes.
Will the succulents continue to grow?
Pardon?
Will they grow at all?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. So will the succulents grow? Yes. Yes, they will grow. Not as much as if they're in soil, but yeah. And you know, succulents sometimes they'll might lose some of their outer leaves, so you just kind of want to pinch those off when they turn brown or start to turn brown. Any other suggestions, Virginia, on succulents? No. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Get to your creative spaces, and while you're doing that, I'm going to tell you about the membership to the San Mateo Arboretum Society. Oops, sorry. While you're getting settled, it's going to tell you to think about signing up for membership to the San Mateo Arboretum Society. Also, you get discounts for workshops if you do that, and you get discounts for purchasing plants. We have volunteer opportunities, and next November 6th is our Ikebana workshop. So it's an intro to Ikebana design on November 6th.
The in-person is full. I'm going to see about getting a wait list set up
Okay.
for that.
Okay, go to it, and we'll be here longer than. I'm not-
We have membership brochures for those of you here that are interested. Oh, yeah, you have.